Well, who's down at the table? I know it. What? And Tiffany Garner's here too? Is there like an equinox?
All right, y'all ready to get going? Hello. Hello, hello. Are you Kim Schmo? All right, let's try real quick. Good morning. Good morning. That's not good enough. I want more energy. Good morning. Good morning. Rob, good morning. Does everyone hear Rob give some power voice out there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I'll put your
So I saw this, and I think this is the message I want you guys to walk out of here today. If you are not lost, you are here. And the bottom line is you're here for a reason, and we're going to cover some of those reasons today. First, before we do anything, we have RIA inspection. Mr. Rob Lemoyne, come on up. Thank you. But before Rob, sit down. All right, before Rob gets going, we're going to turn it over to Robert real quick.
All right, Ms. Page, stand up. You know what? Ladies and gentlemen, you realize how tight it's been on pendings and anybody frustrated because your listing was still showing active? Yeah. So here's what I got to tell you. Now, has it been a little busy the last couple of weeks? So we've been down to the one, the crippled, the wounded. Had dental surgery last Friday, heavy duty surgery. But you know what? When she left, guess where we were with pending? All current, all active. And don't think it's an easy task this morning. She's got 42 emails pending. So I know it's been tough. You were sick as a dog last week. Thank you.
Give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
And I can tell Monica's itching over here to draw something. Does everybody have the cards in the fishbowl? Well, we're going to have one too.
Oh, we are.
We're going to wait on Rob. I want to steal Rob's thunder. We're going to give away. What are we giving away, Monica?
Another $50 gift card.
A $50 gift card to some place. Get your cards in. Come on, Cheryl, hurry up. Waiting on you. Waiting on you as always. And the winner of $50 gift card to somewhere we have no idea where is, go ahead, Monica.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got a Jim Bullis card here. It's gonna win. Thank you.
I think they multiply.
Let's go, Monica, hurry up. Who wins the card to somewhere we don't know?
Out there.
Who can guess if this is their card? I bet it's the only card out there with this on the back. If you can't see it, and if you don't raise your hand, who is it? Oh, it's Lisa Cushman. Give her a round of applause. Lisa Cushman, $50. That's $50 to Kmart and Cumming. They closed that thing. All right. Right now, let's give it up for Rob Lemoyne with the shoes over here. By the way, we need to flip it over here.
Yeah.
Pyro's on the scene.
How we doing, guys?
Great.
Good. So I'm Rob Lemoyne, Residential Inspector of America. This is Catherine. We've been in business for a long time, blah, blah, blah. So you don't want to hear that, but I'm going to show you something pretty cool.
Well, wait, hold on. Who is Catherine?
She's
She's
my wife.
your damn wife.
She's my wife. I've been with her since I was 14 years old. But I'm only 15. It's not that good. Anyway, I'm gonna show you something cool, all right?
George, it is.
You guys see this?
Everybody's silent.
All right, can anybody tell me what that is? Anybody have a guess?
10 feet.
It is 10 feet. Any other guesses? All right, so this is one stride length for Usain Bolt. Anybody know who that is?
Yeah.
The sprinter from Jamaica.
Wow.
Are you
Okay,
serious?
so when he runs at full speed, he takes one step here, and the next foot doesn't come down to almost 10 feet later.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. So he, when he runs a 100-meter race, a typical race, he takes 41 steps. His nearest competitor has to take 44 steps to complete the same race. So you can see why he's the best in the world. Right? So you can say that he has one thing he does better than everybody else. He has one thing he does different than his competition. You and I, as business people, we're always looking for something we do differently to make us stand apart. So I'm going to briefly tell you about something that we do a little different than everybody else. Let's see if it'll work. So what we do is we offer complete protection beyond our inspection. We offer some services that come absolutely free with our home inspections. One of them is a 5-year roof leak warranty. So every home buyer gets a 5-year roof leak warranty with our inspections, absolutely free. It's going to cover any leaks that occur from 5 years from the inspection dates. They also get a 90-day structural mechanical warranty. So if the furnace goes out when they move in, something like that, they're going to have some coverage for that. And that's free with our inspections. 90-day main sewer and water line warranty. This one's cool because home inspectors can't see the main sewer and water line out in the yard. They can't inspect it, can't see it. So if that thing clogs up or has a tree root in it or something like that, there's some coverage there for that. 90 days from the home inspection date or 22 days from closing, whatever is longer. So if the buyer doesn't close for 6 months for whatever reason, they have a 6-month, 22-day warranty on the sewer line and water line. Mold growth warranty, 90 days. So if say the seller turns the utilities off and a bunch of mold grows in the basement because there's no airflow, there's some coverage for that. 90-day mold growth warranty. And then finally, recall check. So we're going to do a separate report that's going to alert the home buyer to any possible fire hazards, manufacturer recalls, things like that on the major appliances in the home. So it's a good service that lets them know if there's any issues because most people will never figure that out. So these are the services that we offer. They're absolutely free. I pay for them. So we can offer them to your clients. I feel like if you guys stick your neck out on the line every time you refer us or any other home inspector, and I feel like we have a duty to do what we can to keep that home buyer happy through the inspection and after the inspection. Whether if something goes wrong on the inspection, they get a bad taste in their mouth about the whole real estate process. They'll blame us, they'll blame you guys, and we don't want that. We want to keep that person happy so they generate referrals for you. So these things, if something just goes wrong or we miss something, there'll be some coverage there for that home buyer, which keep them happy. So that's that. And I'm going to show you one other thing we have here. These books that you guys have.
Get one? Yeah.
This is a guide that's designed for real estate agents. It goes through the common issues that we find. We've been in business 26 years, and these are the ones we get questioned about the most. And it'll give you a quick guide to figure out, what some of these things are. So major component life expectancies, it'll tell you how long a furnace should last, how long a water heater should last, how long the roof should last, how long the paint job will last. Next thing that you'll find there, you'll see preparing for a home inspection. What can a seller do to reduce the list of the buyer's home inspector? This is for your listings. Most of a home inspection is minor stuff, windows that don't latch, doors that don't work, stuff like that. Get the seller to reduce all that stuff so the home inspection doesn't look as bad, because the home inspection looks terrible on paper. Everybody knows that. It's not really as bad as it looks when it gets written up on paper, right? Lap siding, masonite siding, Louisiana Pacific, that tells you how to identify it, what's the problems with it, how to maintain it. Stucco, hard coat, synthetic stucco, what's the differences, what do you do with it, how do you deal with it? Mold, what are your options? Why does mold grow in the house? What are your options for sampling the mold? What should you do in the event of a mold problem? All this is in this book. Water entry, why does water entry occur into a basement or crawl space? What do you do about it? And then there's a section on why use us, things that we offer to real estate agents and clients. Polybutylene, I'm sure everybody's dealt with that. how do you identify it, what are some of the problems with it, termites, rodents, radon gas. That's a big thing that we're dealing with right now. That about 30% of the radon tests that we do for our clients come up high, so it's or above 4.0. So it kind of explains that in lead-based paint. Asbestos Chinese drywall. Most people don't know a whole lot about that, so it kind of tells you what to do in the event that you have those in your home. And then most common issues found in a home inspection. What are the things that we find most? What do we say about them? I'll just kind of give you a heads up to that. And then finally, an explanation of inspection types. Mainly for newer agents, what is a pre-drywall inspection? What does it include? What's a re-inspection? What's a cycle inspection? Do we probe the wall cavity or do we not? Things like that. That's all in this book. And at the end of the book, you have some coupons, $25 coupons you can use for our services. It explains the warranties that we offer and things like that. That's it for me. You guys have any questions or anything like that?
What is your inspection typically like?
The base price for the regular house is $315, and then depending on size, it has basement call space, age, that kind of thing. Goes up from there. So
Is there anybody out there that can vouch for this company? I'm just wondering.
I use it
Oh,
all the time.
Debbie, could you give us I know you can, so go ahead and say it
My
out loud.
husband works for this company. One time. He's a pretty good inspector too.
he does work for the company.
And I use them all the time. He's
And
great.
Denise uses it.
Thank you.
And Jim's using it.
I use
And what we are doing, they are going to be one of our preferred vendors through the year. We are starting a new program, and Monica and Rob have been interviewing the people that are on there. So if it's somebody that we allow to come in here, it's going to be vetted out. It's going to be where you guys can know that they're a good quality company, and you'll feel good about your clients and the process that they get. Yes, sir.
One of the things that we're doing with the concierge is they're one of three that we're going to have, but we're really, I mean, one of the things I asked them, what value are you bringing to the agent that everyone else is? Because without them having a value-added proposition, it just wasn't working. So that's one of the reasons, the people that you're going to see us doing, it was real important to Monica and I to say, where are they bringing value to? Okay, so good job.
Thank you. Yes. Real quick, my cell number's there. If you guys have any questions at all, I don't care if I'm involved in the transaction or not, or somebody else did the inspection, call me, I'll answer it for you. I got a lot of experience in home inspections. I can answer pretty much anything. And if I can't answer it, I'll give the answer for you. So call me, use me as a resource when you guys are out there in the field.
One thing I just wanted to note, the 90-day structural mechanical warranty can work in conjunction with your traditional one-year warranty. A lot of times those one-year warranties have a deductible, the 90-day does not. So you can claim the deductible under the 90-day, and the 90-day warranty will pay the deductible for the regular home warranty. So it ends up working in conjunction. Like, you don't have to think, oh, well, we already have a one-year warranty, we don't need that. This is free, it comes with it, and it works in conjunction.
And let me give you a little tip here. Here's how you introduce your wife. And this is my wife, Kathleen, and she rocks, and I love working with her. Catherine. Don't mess up what I did. That would not be good. I was testing you.
Just to make
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
Great job. And very nice book.
We have a drug.
Anybody?
Everybody here?
All right, who wants to play Jeff Zuloff today? Anybody? This is a question I had for him today. In election year, what is typical of rates? Anybody want to guess? They stay flat. Well, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that. They stay flat. I don't know if that's true, but that's what Jeff's answer is today. So we'll move on from there. Where are we after first quarter? I want you guys to know and always remember what our goals are as a company, and make sure that you guys take the opportunity to write down your goals, stick to them, and find out what you got to do so at the end of the year you have a phenomenal year. Here's where we are. The goals for 2016 were set out: 200 agent net count. When I say net count, that means if there's a team of 5, we count that as 1. Okay? This is not the net count, or when I go over where we are, it's not the net count. I'll tell you where we are. But 200 agent net count, 1,750 units sold, and 10.5 GCI. After the first quarter, are we on track or are we not? Who in here wants to say that we're on track?
Yes.
Well, we are. So here's the deal. Information through March 31st, we had an agent count of 187. That is not net. Net, we're about 165, 168 right now. Unit sales, we're at 360 through the first 3 quarters. And in 2015, we're at 305. So we're trending just about 20% ahead of units. But the most interesting thing is down here. GCI, 2.28 through the first quarter. Last year, we're at 1.5. So that's significantly, who wants to do the math on that? How much more is that? That's about
700,000.
well, I know it's 700. I'm talking percentage-wise.
50%.
How much?
50.
So that's the interesting point right there. We're only 20% ahead. We're not even 20% ahead of unit sales, yet we're 50% ahead of commission. So here's the cool thing. What we're seeing is a lot of the sales are being generated from agents that have been in the business less than a year and a half, and they're charging full percentage, the full commission. So this is the trend. So that's cool stuff. So if you're in the game, you can hold in, and we're seeing more 6% stuff come through than we ever have. So it's good stuff going on out there. Pay attention to it, but this is where we are right now, and I'd say we are definitely going to meet or exceed our upper goals, and I can't thank you guys enough. I'm going to tell you guys, here's an opportunity out there. I had a call. I went to someone's house last night. That's a good friend of mine. They said, we don't know if we're going to do anything in the market. Can you tell us what's going on? Their home was built in 2005. What color combination was in 2005? Golds and browns and beiges, right? What are the color combinations that have really just hit this year? Grays and whites, lights, right? And so you go into the model homes and the kitchens that people are seeing, and it's all changed. Yet you're at the transition point right now. So these people that are going, we don't know if we want to move now or if we're going to wait a year or two. I went in and I've never even thought about this, but in my home, it's 10 years old. I built it in 2005. You go into my home, you go, hey, it's nice. It's got the granite, it's got this, it's got the stainless steel, but the appliances are 10 years old. The color combination is near out of date, even though when you walk into it, you go, hey, it's decent. We did change the paint color. We're changing out light fixtures. It is very expensive. So what I told them, I said, you know what, I hadn't really thought about this, but the truth is, because they said, we went to some model homes and all of our stuff is still relevant. We got the granite, we got the stainless steel. I said, well, you might have the granite, but it's the golds and the browns. And you probably saw in there that it's the whites and the grays. I said, we did notice that, but we've got the stuff. I said, yeah, here's the deal. If you want to sell and get maximum dollar, I'm going to encourage you guys to go ahead and list your home within the next couple of months because inventory is very low. And if you wait a year, chances are you're going to have to go in there and rip out everything to get it to the whites and the grays. It'll be absolutely embedded in people's mind versus accepting what you guys have today. Now, how many in here would have said that to somebody and been very emphatic about it? And by the way, I hadn't thought about it until they were really talking about, should we wait or should we not? All their bathrooms, they look great, but guess what they want? Browns and golds and all that stuff that in a year, they're going to have to rip that stuff out if they're going to sell them at retail price. Today, it's almost a blender where you go, okay, it's not the whites and the grays, but it still looks good. In another year, year and a half, it's going to be a totally different ballgame. Y'all see that out there? I think you're going to see a lot of homes, and so I'm encouraging you guys, if you know people that built in 2005, 2006, 2004, there's going to be a world of opportunity where they're going, do we upgrade our home to today's specs, or do we sell and move into something that's already got that done? And if you don't have some firm answers and beliefs, then guess what? They're going to either wait and talk to somebody else that does, or they're going to go ahead and just wait. So you need to really think about that and get committed to the different beliefs out there. Yes?
Will their prices be lower though, because they still have wallpaper, or, you know, that kind of, it's not up to date? I mean, are they going to lose money, you think? Would the sales price be lower?
Well, I can tell you this, they'll be lucky to get an offer at a higher price because most people don't want to mess with wallpaper. If they got wallpaper and that kind of stuff, they need to go ahead and rip it down, paint it, do something that's going to be more today than just going, well, somebody else can deal with it.
Right.
No one else is going to deal with it because no one's going to give you the price you want. That's just the reality. That makes sense? You're going to see this over. I'm telling you, the homes that are 10 years old, the stuff still looks okay. But we're in a shift right now. The shift is going to whites and grays and the new light fixtures out there. We've seen homes sit on the market and the light fixtures are the brass or they're the white, and that stuff is so ancient, you need to get people to go ahead and change that. They can spend $1,500 to $2,000 on light fixtures and have a whole different feel in that home. Spend a little bit of money on paint, you'd be surprised at what you get out of it. Okay. How can you go further than where you are today? There's one thing that's always going to be true. What got you where you are today is not going to be what gets you where you want to go if you want to go any further. So if you're totally fine and you're utopic in where you sit today in your production, keep doing what you're doing. Be happy. But if you want to go 1 inch further, then you're going to have to make some changes that are going to make you feel uncomfortable, that are not going to be really what you want to do, because you're not going to go, hey, I want to go do those extra things that I haven't been doing. But if you want to go any further, who in here wants to do better this year than what they've done in the past? And that's okay if you don't. If you're in a utopic state, stay right there and just do what you've been doing and be utopic. But everybody in here that I saw, except for maybe 10% of the room, said, I want to do something better. So here's your challenge and here's your roadmap. And if you want to challenge me on any of this stuff, fine. But here's what we're going to keep drilling into your head. Because I want you guys, if I get 15 to 25% of this room to go do something in the next 3 months with what we're talking about here, can you imagine the impact we're going to have across the board? And people, by the way, Debbie, who was the one? We had somebody else call expireds. I've had 2 agents call expireds, and one of them got a commercial listing at 2.5 or something like that.
I'm not sure about that one.
What was the one that did the commercial deal?
Patty Crumper, I don't think she's back from sports event she was at, but she called and expired, got 2 units listed, and she's got an offer coming in on it today. And that was last Wednesday.
Call and expired. Ms. Tanwako, you got something. What you did?
I got a little house in Loganville.
No.
Oh, the other one?
The other.
Yeah, well,
The
they're all,
exciting.
they're all, oh, yeah. My property in Jones Bridge.
Yeah, what was that?
It was an old church, that's $1 million, and then I called the next door neighbor and got them on board too, and that's about a quarter, 250.
Just 1.3 million. That's all. The other agent that expired, Lisa went in there and immediately you got multiple offers coming in.
Mhm.
So, call expired works? Yeah.
Yep.
So, I challenge you guys, if you're not, there's different things right up here. So, you are here for a reason. We have the map, and you're gonna follow a consistent, well laid out plan. 1, if you get a listing, or you sell a listing, you get your butt out there and go knock 5, 5, 10. 5 doors to the left, 5 doors to the right, 10 homes on the other side of the street. That's 20 doors to knock on. What are you gonna handle? Because I know a lot of you would go, I don't wanna be that pushy aggressive salesperson. Right?
With information on the house on one side.
Trends on the backside that hit them in the pocketbook. Everybody wants to know what their home is worth. Nobody's giving them highly level content on their home and their community. Go drill in on their neighborhood or the high school district if there's not enough in their neighborhood. Have that on the backside and have the front side with the home that you just sold, the price, or the price that you just listed at. No one will be offended. You're not asking for their business today. You're just giving them a lasting impression in their head. A lot of people, when their neighbors sell, in 6 months, they're going to be selling. If you're not out there knocking on doors and handling something useful, you're not going to be the agent that they select. So push that button and go a little bit further. Second way, open house is the effective way. I just sat down with a team last week and we rolled over. It's not sticking a sign out in the lawn and praying somebody comes by and says, God, you're so nice. You sat over there in the corner and balled up with your thumb in your mouth, didn't know what to say, and I'm going to use you because you're so nice and weak. You got to have some authority. Sorry, that just kind of floated out. I had that picture in my head. But if you take the effective way of doing the open house and you apply every single step and you do the X50, 50, 70 factor, if you've never been through my class, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you have, maybe it'll remind you. Go back and do it the effective way. If you got any questions, we can help guide you with this. But now's the time to turn it on and do those 2 things right there. Third, if you need a kickstart, if you need to re-energize your business, if it's not where you want, if you got a low sphere of influence, or you need new drive, or if you're new and you have drive, the Mike Ferry system is a great way to do it. And it will call and expires. It will be things that you might not want to do, but are very effective in creating very quick production in your pocket. If you have 20 to 30 transactions in real estate, me, Rob, and Deb have been talking, how can we help agents? Once you get to 20 to 30 transactions in real estate, you need to start going back with a very systemized thing of going after the Brian Buffini approach towards referrals, right? And reconnecting with those people and staying on them, and combining the Mike Ferry measures that will help you keep on the production side. And then if you've done over 100 transactions in real estate, we want to encourage you. Brian Buffini is your guide. Referrals is where you need to get most of your business from at that point in time. But these are the stages of your career. Okay, so if you're not producing what you need to be producing, if you haven't done 20 to 30 plus transactions in real estate, you really need to get over it and start doing some Mike Ferry techniques. Once you get to 20 to 30, you need to do a blended approach. Some Mike Ferry, some Brian Buffini. And then if you're over 100, Brian Buffini is a great way to build a business off referrals and keep that well just keep coming on through. So we're going to be doing a better job of rolling you through these things right here. Rob, Deb, you got anything you want to say about that? Because I think we all got excited about it yesterday. Okay, you know what? This is going to be a plan. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, if you guys have 20 to 30 plus transactions in your career, would you like to expand the possibilities and go through a Brian Buffini program together? Then yes, will cost you money, but the cost of the money is not anything compared to the investment in your career that it's going to do to get more business coming through if you're at this. So what I'll encourage you guys, if you have any interest, if you've done at least 20 transactions in real estate and you go, I'm ready to take it to the next level, then get with Rob, Deborah, myself and say, I'd be interested in taking that class. If you haven't done 20, 30 plus transactions, you don't qualify. Don't worry about it. Go to the Mike Ferry stuff, build your business so you can flip it over to that. Okay? Any questions on this? Do you think I'm pretty direct and I think I know what I'm doing up here and I know I can go out there and I'd go start a business right now and go through this formula right here and do the 5-5-10 and I'll be taking over a neighborhood pretty darn quickly. Yes.
I mean, 20 to 30, is that within a year or in total for your career?
In total. Okay. Well, now, if it goes back 30 years, no, I'm sorry. Probably need to start with Mike Ferry. But if you had 20 to 30, let's say in the last 3 years, you're building a business. You've had enough people that know you as a realtor. You need to go back to that well while still doing the Brian Buffini, while still doing the Mike Ferry stuff. It's a blended approach, and we realize one thing. This is tough, but if you want to grow a business, businesses are not grown by easy stuff. Businesses worth having are worth going out there and doing the stuff that nobody else is willing to do. And that's where this stuff leads you. You got to go back to the well and build the foundation off that. You got to do things that you're not doing today. And if you break free, and we can help you not be the cheesy salesperson that in your mind you're holding yourself back. Because I can tell you this, the people in my community, they didn't think of me as a cheesy, aggressive salesperson. They looked at me as a consultant. Yet I know one thing, if I didn't take an assertive approach to things, they would have never looked at me that way. And they'd have never, there were about 25 agents that live in Old Atlanta Club when I was going listing and selling. Yet there was 1 or 2 people that they thought of if you went to Old Atlanta Club and say, who should I contact for real estate? During that time, it was either me or Sarah Godless. And that's just the way that it is. So all this stuff is easy to do if you're willing to go out there and do it. We got a little what would you do here. These are things that have actually happened in the last couple weeks. I'm bringing them to you guys because you got to be real with stuff. And then this is one where we see happening more and more right now. And it's irritating on one level to me, but on the other side, it's real, and you got to know what the laws are and what the rules are to protect consumers. Bless you.
Thank you.
Client wants out a listing agreement. They are mad as hell. No turning them back. They're a problem child. You truly have not done anything wrong outside of taking an overpriced listing, shame on you, and spending a lot of marketing dollars just to appease them. They say they're not paying a dime to withdraw or going to file a complaint if you don't get it withdrawn immediately. What would you do?
Show them all the marketing efforts that we've done.
One that says, I'm going to go beat you upside the head and show you all the marketing things I've done.
Tell him to call Terry and he'll refer another agent.
Are they relisting with another agent?
Check for $50.
Well,
Do they want to relist with another agent?
are they going to relist with another agent? What difference would it make?
Well, only because this happened to me once. If you know where they're going to relist with, you don't have to pay the fee.
Okay, very good. So in this case, we'll say, yes, they're going to relist their home with somebody else.
I mean, if you really don't want to deal with it,
So,
then it shouldn't cost you any money.
well, let's say that you spent $750 to market the property. And you say, Terry, I haven't done anything wrong. I spent $750 to market this property. My first question is that documented? If it's not written down, it's not documented. If you don't have the specific copies that were done, if you don't have the cost of the page that you put in the real estate book, if you don't have those things, you can't just arbitrarily come up with a number unless it's in the original listing agreement. But if you have it documented, you can say, I got 400 colored flyers for this home. Anything that you can document, we can absolutely go after and say, if you pay this fee because they haven't done anything wrong outside you being mad that they haven't got traffic to your door because it's grossly overpriced. But if you can document it, we can go after that. In addition to the $50, by the way, why is there a charge of $50 to withdraw from FMLS and MLS? Because that's the charge. We don't.
Hello.
remember this, if you ask somebody a question, typically they don't know what the answer is when you ask them the first time, so you can always ask sellers, has anybody ever showed you what I do to market your property? The answer is no, because they've never met you before. See, these are great ways to get control. So, the cost, where was I anyway? $50. Each system charges us $25. Consumers will get very angry at us. You would not believe how mad they get at $50. So you take just the $50 thing. The other day I was having a conversation with a country guy that I could barely understand. I didn't know if he was a man or a woman, and I could barely understand him because of the country draw. I found out later he is a man. But he was very mad, and he's going to threatening everybody and going to sue us and all this stuff, which he didn't have any real complaint, but the agent said, I'm so sick of him. I want him to go. And I said, what Lori was indicating here is, in a way to avoid the $50 withdrawal fee, and the agent said, I don't care what I've spent in marketing to get him out of my life. Okay, great. We told him, you have the other company go enter the listing into both systems, and it will come to us and say, what do you want to do, basically? And we will push the listing away. In that scenario, there's a $0 charge. So if the consumer wants to get out of that with a no charge, then that's the way that they can do it. If they're not, and they just want to withdraw, they need to pay the $50. And let's say that you're going after the, let's see if somebody outside the attorneys can answer this. You're my listing agent. And I say, you go, well, I've got $500 invested in marketing your property. So you need to cover that cost. And I'm going to come back and say, there's nothing in the contract that says that I have to pay that cost. What's your answer? But by the way, on the agents that have it buttoned up, that know exactly what they spent on the home, I throw that back every single time the consumer says, there's nothing in the contract that says that I'd have to pay that. I just want to withdraw. You haven't done your job.
Listing agreement that you should, you'll have to reimburse the agent for reasonable marketing costs.
Doesn't say a specific amount,
Does not
and
say
I'm not going to do it. I don't think that's reasonable. Hello? Y'all lay down like that? Anybody want to throw something out? I don't care if it's wrong.
Somebody wants to answer.
What is the answer? There's not really a 100% answer. But here's the deal. You have a contract. The contract is for service and time, right? If they want to shorten the contract of time, that means they have to do what? They have to amend that with us, which is, or they want to terminate. So we have to have an agreement to terminate it. Otherwise, it keeps going on and on and on. And if they say, you know what, I'm not going to pay you a dime. I don't want you to market my property anymore. What do you have to do? And they're not paying a dime, and you say, I'm not going to pay it. What happens? Can we hold the listing? Do we get to keep the listing forever and ever, or do we have to not market the listing? We have to take our signs down. We have to take the lockbox off. But are they bound by the contract? So even if they go list with another agent, what does that mean? They're still bound by the agreement that we have. So if that home were to go under contract with the other agent and close, in the time frame that our contract was originally done, they still owe us the full commission that was in the contract that we had in the listing agreement. So if they do not, and by the way, that's what we explain out to them. Here's the deal. You don't have to pay us a dime. The contract still survives. So if you're home, we're going to remove the signs. We're going to play nice guy. But if you don't make an agreement with us over the termination, then the contract still goes on, and you will be liable for all of the commissions if it falls within the time frame of our original deal. So, good luck.
Does that not terminate when they sign a new listing agreement?
Doesn't terminate ours. They're just liable to two brokers now.
And so they're, in essence, they could be paying twice the commission.
If you sign a contract and you do not terminate it, that contract's still going on.
What constitutes terminating it?
A signed thing that we say we are letting them out and they are getting out. Here's the deal, it's terminated. We all agree, we're done with each other. But if you don't have anything signed, then the contract is still going on, even though we've taken the sign down at their request.
Is there a GAR form for that?
Yeah, so that's how you negotiate the stuff out. Okay, any questions on that? And by the way, we're seeing more of this stuff happen out there. Consumers just going, I don't like you, have sold my home, I'm going to somebody else that said they can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. By the way, these get better. Yes, Randy, go ahead.
Now, y'all ever go through it for approval, which is an email that you get funds that may be considered larger than what the purchaser had, with the seller expected. So if you say I'm gonna spend $1,000, y'all agree on saying I'm gonna spend $1,000 if you approve this, or do y'all have that?
Like approval on here.
Yeah, just do that.
Just a quick email, boom, quick email back. So when you do get these sort of situations, so instead of bullying somebody, you say, hey, well, please, we have a contract. I went through a process where I notified you, you approved that expenditure. And we consider those funds on your behalf.
You know what, I would say if you've got a high price listing and you're gonna be going into something that is gonna be a challenge, that would be a very solid approach.
Just a quick email, or whatever.
That'd be pretty easy. I like that. Second one, you have a tough client.
I'm just looking to see.
His name is Robert Shepard.
I'm just looking to see who's on the naughty list. Keep going.
You have a tough client. The negotiations went on and on and on. Both sides feel like they lost. In the final outcome, the parties agreed verbally, and the other agent says, I'm going to get the contract together. They have their client sign it, send it to you. You don't really pay 100% attention to it, forward it on to your client, and it's $15,000 lower than what you verbally, it was basically the offer that you submitted over to in the beginning, and they signed it. So your client sees it, and they go, all right, let's sign it. I just got the deal of the century. Did they? By the way, this just happened, didn't it, Phil?
That was you. I'm assuming the buyers are the one that received the offer that was $15,000.
Yes,
lower than what they
so the
received.
seller is basically $15,000 lower, so the only person getting screwed, and that's the seller, is the lowest, right? So the seller has signed. Seller didn't even get their agent. They trusted their agent. They went there and go, signed, send it over to Phil. Phil passes it on to the buyer. The buyer goes, whoopee! And Phil comes to me and goes, God, I really don't know what to do.
You got it, ethical, you got to send it back, and you've got to say, this is not what we agreed on, there's a typographical error in here.
Hold on. Whoa, hold on. Let's think through this, guys. Your consumer has now seen the contract, and they really want to take advantage of these people.
That's not what was verbally agreed to, which is what the contract.
I don't care. You know what? These people I hate the way they negotiated. That home's really not worth more than that anyway, so I want to go ahead and sign it and be done. It's what's in it. It's their mistake. I didn't force the mistake. They did. So.
I wouldn't do it as.
Depends on your ethics.
Why is the seller writing the contract?
Huh?
No, the agent countered, right?
Oh.
So.
Multiples, it looks like.
So. Who in here says, sign it, run on, you got a heck of a deal, shame on the other agent? So we got a room full of ethical people. That's very good. Phil signed it for his client, so let's jump on that. So Randy and I were talking this morning, and I said, okay, so let me ask you this. What would happen? Because let's put it this way. There's less unscrupulous agents out there that wouldn't be able to control their client, and their client would control and basically go, we're going to do this or I'm firing you.
Okay, have a nice day.
And you might be at that point where you go, God, you know what, okay, whatever, it was the agent's fault, and they screwed, boy, did they screw up, right? So let's say that they signed it, and you sent it back over. And you said, well, I'm sorry, here's the deal, and we're going to hold you to it because it is in the four corners of the contract. So now we have a binding agreement.
That the seller is in no way, shape, form going to cooperate nicely about any freaking detail in the entire thing.
Now, you know what, I'll worry about the inspection stuff. I'm not going to ask them to do anything because I know they won't do anything. I'm going to take it as is, take that $15,000 haircut. Randy.
It's still cheaper for them to terminate the contract and pay out the earnest money than it is to take that $15,000 hit, presumably.
They can't terminate the contract. There's nothing in there that says the sellers have the right to do that. Randy, I signed the contract. I want to hold their feet to the fire. If that goes through and there's nothing that I'm going to agree to outside that contract that we all signed, do I have a legally binding contract? Even though verbally we had agreed to $15,000 higher price.
You know, I would say you probably still have a legally binding contract. I would say that if it went in front of the court, you know, courts can change. They don't have to enforce things. That's the problem of the court. at the end of the day, I'd say, manage your client and get the right price that everybody verbally agrees to. Contracts, verbally or, ignored or can be binding.
As a seller's agent calling.
Well, so
Let me ask you
That's
this.
the first thing.
Yeah, the seller's agent did catch it a couple hours later. And we worked it out the right way. The client did get very hyped up and was very excited.
Was it resent before it was actually signed by the buyer?
No, it was signed by the buyer and the agent,
Okay.
sent over to Phil. So the buyer's going, let's sign, right?
Since I don't like the fact that, here's what I will say. If you get a contract and you know it's not correct, don't show it to your buyer. You're buying all sorts of problems. I mean, don't on the right path of what you said so far. To be honest with you, what I would say in this case, you have to manage your client and tell them that's not what you're buying.
Well, by the way, let me ask you guys this. Do you think the seller would even show up to closing on this one?
No, you're buying yourself issues. You're the rest of the entire-
I would advise the seller in this case, don't go to closing. Well, I'd advise them to get legal advice, but the reality is what would the buyer say if they were real jackass? What would they say? I'm going to sue for specific performance because we have a binding agreement.
And that specific
Right.
performance
So this
is gonna have our
is
errors.
the worst. This is the worst case scenario. Okay, the buyer says, nope, we got a binding deal. I will sue them for specific performance. That is their hardest way that they could do it. Correct? How long would that take to go through the court system?
Years.
What's a
It's not a good
retainer?
likely outcome.
What's a retainer? Let's say I don't have anything really that I want to go fight because it's principal, right? Because that's where people end up spending a lot of money. on
You
principal.
had a $5,000 to $10,000 retainer.
$5,000 to $10,000 show up front before you start getting advice from the attorney.
That's just the beginning. It's not like the cost. It's like the tip one. Good morning, by the way, all.
So I always chuckle when somebody starts throwing out, I'm gonna sue. I always go, have you ever sued before? Because I know what the answer is. Anybody that says, I'm going to sue, they've never been in a lawsuit. They hear it, sounds good, but you know what, when you go, you've never been in a lawsuit. We've been in a lawsuit before. I know how much it costs, and I never want to go to court. So you always want to work things out amicably, as amicably as possible between the two, period.
And I will also say this, the first attorney that's usually willing to jump on a semi-bad case is not usually the attorney that ends up going through the lawsuit. You usually then go get a higher priced attorney to finish the job. Usually go through at least one, if not two attorneys. The first person will jump on it, so doesn't have anything to say.
I had a third one in there, but let me tell you what this one is. I'll go off memory on this one. And then I've got two announcements. Actually, I've got three, maybe four. So, but we're on schedule. So, this is a good juicy one. It involves a lake property, 40-year-old plus home, a septic system, and a licensed agent as a seller. So, the buyer is in Tupelo while the due diligence is on. And they did a very short due diligence time period, and it was cash. So they also did a short closing. So rush, they do the inspection. And during the due diligence, they asked the seller, remember the seller is a licensed agent and her husband. They asked the seller, hey, what about the septic system and the number of bedrooms that are applicable to that? And the seller sends them an email saying, according to the county records, it is a 5-bedroom home. And they send over the county tax records that show 5-bedroom home. The buyer going through the process after due diligence finds that the septic system is for a 2-bedroom. And they found this out by going to the county health department and saying, if I want to expand the home at all, what is the septic system rated? And they said, oh, they told me the address. Oh, I know the home that you're talking about. They came in here 3 years ago wanting to expand, and we told them they had to update the septic system, and there's no other area outside of where the field currently is, so there's no way you can add any more field to it. I remember that one specifically, said that without even going to the file. So the buyer says, why don't you go check and pull the file, because it doesn't make sense on some things. And so the health department goes, no, check the file, and it's all exactly as I remembered it. And the quote was, you could spend $1 million on that home, and you're still gonna have a 2-bedroom home. What would you do?
Yeah.
The agent knew it was aware and did not disclose.
Okay, so here's one thing. Well, what is Georgia? Georgia is a buyer beware. Remember that. We went through due diligence. What time period do you find these issues out? In due diligence. Once you're beyond due diligence, is this not a buyer beware state?
But they misrepresented
Yeah.
their license.
Did they? Oh, so we go back and we say, hold on. We tell the people, this is what the health department said, which they say, no, the home is grandfathered in because back when it was built, they did not have all of the regulations around septic systems, and you'll find this all over Lake Lanier. So the septic system is grandfathered in, and it is a 5-bedroom home.
Nice. Clarify grandfathered in, what exactly does that mean?
That means that the health department can't come back to you and say, you need to upgrade this to fit the home, or you gotta rip out the bedrooms. It's just, it is what it is.
Did they get proper permits when they built the extra?
At that time, yes, they did not end up expanding the home because it was gonna be too costly. They said that they had an engineer draw up a way that would keep it within the footprint of the fields, right? That they could do a 5-bedroom home. The county health department says, no way. The couple has sent over an engineer layout of what they say it can be adjusted to a 5-bedroom septic field.
I would have a problem with the seller's ethics. I would have, especially them being an agent. That's just shady and shady.
Bingo, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I would call the board. I'd
So-
get their license.
Randy, if you go out there as an attorney and you do something that is in question and you go to court over it, are you gonna be rated and graded harder than a normal individual, or is it just?
That was one
That's how
of
we're dealt with, yeah, it's not party A, party B, it's party and party B. It's our scrutiny of how we're judged, how we deal with consumers. I mean, this is the year of the consumer, plus 18 months of the year of the consumer. So how we're, rated and graded is, how we deal with people is scrutinized at a much higher level.
That was one of the topics I was gonna bring up, if you didn't already have, what would you do? But Denise and Denise knows, we talked about it, but we had the same situation that we worked through, and Denise ended up on the winning end of it.
So our fight is, the buyer said, hey, you know what, as long as at the end of the day, if the home burns down, or I do anything that I wanna, if I wanna expand it or need to get a permit, I wanna be able to have it be 5 bedrooms. I want the home to be exactly as the structure it is today, and I wanna be able to have a 5-bedroom septic system. And as long as I can get that, I'm not gonna ask them to change it, I just want the county to sign off saying that with their engineer plan that they said that they had drawn out, that the county would accept that and I could implement that if one of those events happens. Otherwise, the people are on the hook. That's where it currently sits. Closing is supposed to happen Friday. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we pushed it back on the seller, and I haven't even had to go yet in the direction of going, well, you're a licensed agent, and therefore you're scrutinized 10 times harder, and you did. If you look at the way that they communicated back on the 5-bedroom thing, it was very craftily written to avoid the conversation of, oh, by the way, we know it's a 2-bedroom septic system, right?
It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't the whole truth.
Yes. So, yes, he was right, but it was like, because she's a licensed agent, the wife is, you gotta go to the nth degree and disclose everything. So I'm sharing this with you guys on 2 things. One, you're all gonna be selling homes in the future. You go to the nth degree, even if you feel like it's gonna have a less effect on the price for your home, you suck it up and you do the right thing. If you're in that situation, then the onus falls, if it's an attorney that was the seller, the onus falls on the attorney more. Same thing with a licensed agent. They know better. That's the bottom line. We will play hard on that if we have to, yes.
Sometimes when you guys go through these fact patterns and you kind of get a resolution to something kind of like this, please make sure you, this may sound stupid, make sure you draw up that amendment. And if there's other parties involved, like the county, if you can reference those documents in those amendments, what you're doing is saving yourself a problem in the future. If for some reason the county changes their mind. At that point in time, you're crafting an amendment that's relying on another party, and all parties are acknowledging that, in this case, like Forsyth County, is the one who is the actor. So you're basically disclosing your mind. You're saying they are accepting that property based on representation by another party, not by y'all. That's what you need to do, is make sure you craft those amendments, that way it doesn't.
But we will not craft that amendment. You will. Okay.
Let me know what I need to craft. But you know what, we find that a lot of people do all the legwork and they forget to document it. And that's the
Yes.
biggest problem.
And that is the thing. Lori said, well, they would have to disclose that if they're the buyer, now they know, they would have to disclose that. Yes, it is still in a gray area, and there still are a lot of lake homes out there that it is grandfathered in. I was talking to Phil. Phil does a lot of lake properties. He said, yeah, you do run into that a good bit on the lake because it was just the hillbilly way to do it for such a long time. Now, if you live on the lake, I'm sorry, it's not hillbilly today, it was. And there's nothing wrong with hillbilly. Now, Randy, this is the way we flow along with our meeting. We have a good time. That's it. All right, now, here's what I want to tell you guys. Let me tell you what the long-term plan is of this company and this office. Does anybody know? We're gonna make money. We're gonna keep this one office and run it absolutely to the furthest potential point that we can possibly go with one office. Ultimately, I'd love to have 300 agents operating out of this office within the next 3 to 5 years. And what that would entail is this room would end up having to be another bullpen area, and we'd find another place for training. We'll go kick somebody out of the strip center since we do have some sort of control over that. So, but in that, so it's like we went into the title insurance business with McMichael and Gray, feel very good about that. And we're going to honor the first closing here in just a second and set up the second one. But that's what we're going to do is we're going to look at this as a real estate service office. It's not just a brokerage, and we're going to run and apply great services that you guys feel confident in and can have control over what the process is. In that, what I'm going to do is look at this as a business opportunity. We're going to try to link in with other teams that have their own offices out there, like we did with Melita Potts and Potts Realty, where we can leverage our back-end support here and help them grow to where they want to grow and be more efficient, effective that way. But I'm not looking to go out there and open up a bunch of offices at all. We want to run this very efficiently and effectively. And then by linking it with Michael and Gray, where they've got 7 offices around Atlanta, we can have agents be able to go in there and have like a bullpen set up and be very strategic alliances like that. Now, one of the things that we're going to be doing that's different, and I want to tell you guys what the outcome is going to be for the long haul, so that you can understand what we're doing here. When you walk in the doors tomorrow, the next day or next week, whenever it actually happens, it's going to be the same exact environment as it is right now, the same exact people doing the stuff that they're doing. And what we're going to do is Debbie Cook is going to be the broker of the office. I will be not stepping aside, but it's like she is detailed, buttoned up, and with where we're going as a company, we've got to have somebody that can help do those things to the right measure. I'm going to give you guys an example that drove me crazy, but it's reality. I'm a productive person. I'm a good business-minded person. I'm here to help you guys grow your business. That does not mean I have to be the qualifying broker. Qualifying broker is here to protect all of us and to make sure that the systems are the best in place. So about 2 weeks ago, I sent out to everybody in here a global thing that said, hey, here's our policies and procedures. It's about 90% complete. Y'all remember that? If you didn't, then you need to go back and get it. It's been over 2 or 3 years since we have sent out the policies and procedures. Doesn't mean that we're a bad company. It's just, well, that's one of the things. We've got to have a strong, committed presence of going out there and having these little things buttoned up on the backside. So part of what we're going to be doing moving in the future is Tom Gillette will be coming in here on about a quarterly basis to do a once-over for us. Debbie's going to be coming up with things that we can protect everybody's interest in here and do it better on that side than what I was. And I'm going to be stepping and helping you guys in the business format of what I really enjoy doing and knock it so we don't have things that get us kinked up on the backside. So that's what we're going to be doing. So if you hear that Debbie's license is now under the brokerage thing, I'm still licensed. I'm going to remain licensed, but I'm going to be the business consultant type thing is what we're going to with this. Does that make sense?
Will your phone still work in the Caribbean?
We'll find out. No, and the other thing is, my travel schedule's gotten more, not because of taking vacation.
Just checking.
Like last week, I'm with NBCC, that's the National Broker Congressional Committee, up in New Jersey, and that was at Century 21's corporate headquarters. And they asked me to be involved in that, and that's 40 brokers from across the country that they select to go in there and help them make decisions for the overall corporation. And I like doing things like that, and I want to be doing things like that, because that's going to help us as a company, one, have more leads, have more credibility, and be looked at favorably from the corporate machine. And I think that there's a lot of value that can be brought from that. The other thing is, like next week, I'm going to Mike Ferry Management Retreat. I'm going to be staying connected on levels like that, so I can come back and be better for you guys on the business side of it. But then I want to have the infrastructure in here that we can all go forward and know we got the best infrastructure on the backside. And this is the way that most brokers, once they get to a certain size, that's what they actually do, is they get somebody going as a qualifying broker that's going to really systemize things and make sure everybody's protected in that. So I want to give Debbie a big round of applause because she's doing it. But the key thing for you guys to remember is nothing fundamentally is changing whatsoever. So the way that you feel going through here, the meetings are going to be run by me. This is the direction that we're going in, but we want to go to the next level with this.
So what will your new title be? Your business development?
Owner.
Good shot, Chief.
But, you know, I'm going to take a look at what others are doing, because it's like, I really want to help with business development and really dive into the things that are going through at every level of production that you are as an agent. How can we help you be better? And helping Rob and Deb better in regard to the training and the stuff that we do. I want to be more involved in that stuff, because that's what I really love doing. So that's what it's going to be about. Some of it will be good, some might not be so good, but it's all going to be for the better. Okay? So I'm very excited though. Now, what we've got, a couple things here. One, Miss Slayball, Mr. Jim, what'd y'all do?
We had a closing at McMichael and Gray.
Had a closing at McMichael and Gray, the first one. So, we didn't really get to celebrate it, so I'm going to give you guys a car wash each, and if you want to go get a foot massage, you can do that. Just because I like that place still, I don't know why. They didn't have closed down for like a week from the health department.
Now you gotta use the front doors.
It's true, by the way, but definitely get a car wash. Thank you. And I'll have Rob's wife give you the foot massage. So,
you got a belt sander?
So how was it, guys? How was it?
It was great.
It was good. Yeah, really good. She was good.
Okay. And where did you close?
Gwinnett.
Gwinnett, at their Gwinnett office. So made it convenient for you, right?
So is there gonna be one main person coming to the office when we have office closings?
Everybody just there.
Yeah.
Some people here that were here last time or one at the other meeting, but
That's her
See,
seat, actually. She was there last time.
I was.
Claimed a seat.
That's right, exactly. I
And then-
have my own seat.
And then Randy is actually the founding partner of the Michael and Gray, so it's Randy.
Guys, I'll tell you, it's awesome being here. It's some of the things that Terry and Robert are talking about, challenging people, but also give them the right tools to succeed, as they challenge them, and just kind of hold everybody to a higher standard. That includes us too. Trust me, they're gonna hold us to a high standard because they want y'all to succeed. They want y'all to believe what they're doing. Part of that's making sure we do what we need to do to make sure y'all are successful. So I'm very, very excited. This is very cool. Very excited. So,
And we're going to be having a You Can't Fix Stupid class, and they're going to be partnering on that with us. Now, hey, I'm going to tell you guys this. So Tom Gillette it's his class, right? It's through the Georgia Real Estate Commission. And I think that this will help solve some of the licensing CE credits that you now have to have when you renew. So it is a licensed law class, but Tom will be in here. It's a 3-hour CE class, and it'll be a good day. So I highly encourage you. It'll be sometime in May. I'll be sending that out later on today. But you definitely want to sign up for that. It will be first come, first serve. I expect to be a packed room, and there's no charge for it, and it is a very, very good class, yes.
Are we gonna be doing a code of ethics?
We'll probably be doing a code of ethics, because I know I have to have my code of ethics done before.
That's why I'm asking all of that.
Therefore, I think we're going to have somebody else. See what I can do on it. Thank you for reminding me.
I got my
I'm just
dancing
like-
break last night.
I'm just like most of y'all. I sit there and go, man, I got June 22nd, I gotta have all my stuff done. I got a long time to go. Denise Quinlan is actually gonna have the first closing here in the office.
I think that's actually up in the air right now.
And you're representing the seller.
Schedule now.
And what's the buyer's name?
It's, oh gosh.
Is it D-Lot something, something, something?
No.
Something.
That's, no, that's not.
Who's the,
This is Sarah Peters Patterson and Greg Seidner. Give me the address, tell me, do you remember the address real quick? I don't have it pulled up.
just street name.
1 minute.
Yeah,
I have a few going on, so I forget.
that name sent me back, Elop. I was on a cruise last year. And I got to be, have y'all seen those little, have y'all seen those hypnotists? Highly encourage y'all, if you ever got the opportunity, go up there and do that. So I got to be a little Martian on stage and had Martian sex with some other woman. So we're out there and go, Elop, who got me, but me. That's how much. Anyway, Elop, I mean, okay, so, anybody got anything? Yes, real quick,
Stephen Wynn,
Stephen Wynn.
WM.
what's going on tonight?
Tonight, Atlanta is having I pulled up-
Women's Council Realtors Atlanta.
At the showroom, they're having headshots and networking events, and they're having wine, beer, $35, and it's helping the Atlanta chapter for Women's Council Realtors.
Why would we want to help the Atlanta chapter? Because
Pam.
Pam Evans, y'all know Pam Evans? If you don't, she's a very nice, bright person that her son is going to be doing some internship with us, with marketing over the summer. And the kids already put on his a little, he's got a little, what are those things on Facebook, like the business one? What's that?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
He's already built a little LinkedIn page, invited me to be his LinkedIn buddy and whatever they call him. And that on there, Century 21 Results Marketing Intern. I was like, kid, he's good. So anyway, go support and sponsor because she's the president for the Atlanta Women's Council of Realtors, and it is a good time to get your headshot, $35. Not only a headshot, you can do shots because they're going to have drinks there. So. At a place called Perch. Y'all heard of Perch?
The showroom.
Kim Schmall, y'all might not recognize her. She got her hair chopped off. I think she's going to North Carolina and wants to be able to go in either bathroom. So. I had to bring that in. But here's the great thing. You won something. What's she win? Anybody? I know we have luncheons today. Who's got a luncheon?
She's just last.
All right, grab her.
No, well, she.
Okay, she has one, and Linda Nevins has one. Do we have the flyers out here?
Yes.
So we have Deer Lake luncheon. That's Caribou Way in Deer Lake. Also, who in here has some coming soon listings that they need to be promoting out there? You need to make sure you get with Monica so that we can be promoting those out. So on Monday, you need to get with Monica so we can be on Tuesday sending the flyers out that have coming soon listings. Okay? So make sure that you go. She's having a $50 drawing and lunch, and Tamara. Who can talk on Tamara? I know the email went out, Facebook post. Tamara's having one too. Where? Nobody knows? So let this be an example. Make sure you got flyers in here on Tuesday. I'll get the flyers out here in a second so that you can go to both of them because I think they're both here in South Forsyth or somewhere close around. So take your time to go support them. So when you have your open houses, luncheons, they support you. It's that simple. Anybody else got anything? It is a great day. Is the weather not fantastic? Business is abundant out there. Go out there and make things happen. Make sure you're challenging yourself. And anything we can do to help you guys, let us know. And thank you for being here.
All right.
We've got a woman to do the next meeting.
I had